What if the Florida Supreme Court did it under the Florida Constitution and not the federal Constitution?
Well, they would still, Senator, have to apply with what the federal Constitution
No,
said
they wouldn't.
Under the Supremacy Clause.
Do you know what adequate and independent state grounds means?
Sure. Of course, I would understand that they could have independent and adequate state grounds for state law, but
No, they don't. As long as you don't take away rights, but add to them, a state can do whatever it wants to under its state constitution, can it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hey
sir.
everyone, welcome back to Congress Lens. It's Audrey here. And wow, you're about to watch one of the most uncomfortable Judiciary Committee moments I've seen in a long time. Senator John Kennedy does what Senator John Kennedy does best. He cuts through the fancy resumes, the polished talking points, and gets straight to the fundamentals. And honestly, it is shocking how many of these judicial nominees stumble on the basics. This wasn't Senator Kennedy trying to be clever. These are constitutional principles any federal judge should know in their sleep: warrant requirements, the Supremacy Clause, Privileges and Immunities, Title VI. And what we see instead? Confusion, guessing, backtracking. It's almost unbelievable. But I'll save the full breakdown for after we watch the entire clip, because trust me, you're going to want to see this with your own eyes. Before we roll the full video, make sure you hit that like button, tap subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our breakdowns of major congressional moments. All right, let's get into it.
Senator Kennedy to kick us off.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Judge Dudick, did I say that name right?
That's correct, Senator.
All right, what's the warrant requirement?
Well, before the court would issue a warrant, you have to assess to make sure that there's probable cause to either search the place.
When's a warrant required?
Excuse me?
When is a warrant required?
The general rule is a warrant is required any time that the government wants to search a person, place, or thing.
Could you speak into the mic?
Oh, I'm sorry, Senator. Yeah, I said the backdrop rule is that a warrant is required any time the government wants to search a person, place, or a thing.
And to arrest you, right?
There are some exceptions to that, but generally, yes.
Okay. And there are exceptions to the warrant requirement for searching and arresting people, are they not? Are there not?
Yes, Senator, there are.
Okay. Suppose the Florida Supreme Court ruled that here in Florida, we're not going to recognize any exceptions to the warrant requirement. You have to have a warrant to search someone, and you have to have a warrant to arrest someone. No exceptions. Can the Florida Supreme Court do that?
Well, Senator, under the Supremacy Clause, they'd be bound by what the Fourth Amendment dictates. Of course, they're free to make their own requirements as it.
What if the Florida Supreme Court did it under the Florida Constitution and not the federal Constitution?
Well, they would still, Senator, have to apply with what the federal Constitution
No,
said
they wouldn't.
Under the Supremacy Clause.
Do you know what adequate and independent state grounds means?
Sure. Of course, I would understand that they could have independent and adequate state grounds for state law, but
No, they don't. As long as you don't take away rights, but add to them, a state can do whatever it wants to under its state constitution, can it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
Senator.
that's not what you just said. You think the Supremacy Clause applies? The Supremacy Clause applies.
Well,
You want to change your answer?
Senator, I would like to change my answer to the extent that I agree with you that the Florida legislature or Florida could do exactly what you said. I meant in my statement is that.
Trust me, it can. Judge Pruitt, I'm sorry, I can't see that far.
It's Judge Pratt, Senator. Yes.
Judge Pratt, I apologize. I can't see that far. Can a state legislature pass a law that discriminates against a group of people over another group of people for inferior treatment?
Well, Senator, the federal Constitution and the state Constitution both contain protections against various forms
I know
of discrimination.
But can a state legislature say this group, we're going to treat this group of people differently than another group of people?
So I think, Senator, an example where a legislature
Tell
could
me first if a state can do that.
Yes, a state can, for example, require a driving age which discriminates on the basis of age. To say, for example,
When can a state legislature not do that?
when it's seeking to do so under a basis that is protected under the state or federal constitution.
Okay, good. Judge, tell me about the Privileges and Immunities Clause.
The Privileges and Immunities Clause, there's a privileges and immunities and a privileges or immunities clause. There's one of each. One of them relates.
Privileges and is what I'm asking you about.
I believe you're referring to what came through in one of the Reconstruction amendments and discussing the fact that that the privileges and immunities of citizenship would be extended under those.
First, what article is it in?
I believe it's in the 13th Amendment.
No, 4th. Article 4. What does it do?
Senator, you have pinpointed a question that in my 9 years as a judge, in my decade of private practice before this, my 2 years as a law clerk, my 2 years on law review in law school, including a year as editor-in-chief, didn't ever come up.
You telling me you don't know?
So it's an interesting question.
Yes,
and
ma'am. I know it's interesting. That's why I asked it.
Yes.
But you don't know the answer. Just tell me. I got a lot of ground to cover here.
I would be very happy to research it.
Okay. Do you know what the Privileges or Immunities Clause is?
With respect to my answer would be the same on that.
You don't know it either.
Well, with respect to the privileges and immunities of citizenship, my recollection is that
Privileges are immunities.
yes, my recollection is that was discussed in one of the Reconstruction amendments.
Which one do you know?
I believe it was the 13th or the 14th.
Okay. All right, Judge. What's Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of '64 do? Ma'am?
Which judge?
This judge down here on the far end.
Artau?
I can't see that
Okay.
far.
Just making sure, because there's 4 judges there. Judge Artau, I'm going to let you answer that briefly.
Hey, I want to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
You can
Madam
answer
Chairman.
that briefly.
Judge, what's Title VI of the Civil Rights Act do?
I believe that ensures that people are treated equally in any places that they would be, that they would not be discriminated against.
In all cases?
I mean, refresh my recollection as to what you were referring to,
I'm
Senator.
referring to Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which you're going to see every other Thursday as a federal judge.
So I believe that's under the Commerce Clause. They wanted to make sure that there was not any discrimination going on with regard to race, and that was addressing
it. It prohibits discriminating on the basis of race or color or national origin under what circumstance? Do you know the answer?
Under any circumstances where you're providing services to people.
No, it's only if you're getting federal money. You need to brush up on that one. I'm way over my time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Senator.
Okay, that was rough. And honestly, I don't even know where to begin because what we just watched highlights something very serious. These are individuals nominated for lifetime seats on the federal bench, meaning they will interpret the Constitution for decades, and yet several struggle to answer questions that first-year law students handle every day. Let's break this down. Senator John Kennedy started with Judge Dudick, asking about the warrant requirement, a foundational Fourth Amendment concept. Judge Dudick gave partial answers, But the moment Senator Kennedy pressed about exceptions to the warrant rule, Judge Dudek hesitated. Then came the hypothetical about the Florida Supreme Court eliminating all warrant exceptions. Instead of giving the straightforward answer that states may expand individual rights beyond the federal baseline, Judge Dudek misapplied the Supremacy Clause. Senator Kennedy literally had to walk Judge Dudek back into the correct answer. That's concerning. Then we move to Judge Pratt. Senator Kennedy asked whether a state legislature can legally treat groups differently. This is a basic equal protection and police power question. Judge Pratt eventually got there, but it took a long runway. Senator Kennedy wasn't asking trick questions. These are core constitutional principles. And then, the moment that honestly made me wince, the Privileges and Immunities Clause. Senator Kennedy asked Judge Pratt which article it's in. Judge Pratt guessed the 13th Amendment, then the 14th. Then admitted in nearly 2 decades of legal work, the topic never came up. Let me be honest here, that's wild. The Privileges and Immunities Clause of Article 4 is not obscure. It's fundamental to understanding interstate rights, travel, and equal treatment across state lines. A federal judge should know that cold. And then Senator Kennedy moved to Judge Arto. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, again, not an obscure statute. One of the most important civil rights laws in American history. Yet Judge Arto could barely define what it does, and didn't know that it only applies to entities receiving federal funding. This is the part where Senator Kennedy shines. He isn't grandstanding, he's stress-testing the very people who will shape federal law. And his calm but persistent approach exposes something we all need to be paying attention to: credentials don't mean competence. This hearing didn't make Senator Kennedy look tough. It made Senator Kennedy look necessary. Someone has to ask these questions. Someone has to push nominees past the politically safe rehearsed lines. Someone has to make sure we're not confirming judges who don't fully grasp the Constitution they will swear to uphold. And today, Senator John Kennedy did exactly that. If you're watching this on Congress Lens, let me know in the comments. Which moment shocked you the most? Because there were several. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We break down the real moments Congress doesn't want you to ignore. I'm Audrey, and I'll see you in the next one.